And we are live. It's me and Bri. Ian's deciding he's taking up next slot. He been late as usual. I can't really get to the man because the man is usually on time, so I really can't say any more. So I'm just going to share out. So Bri, how's things been with you?
Yeah, quiet, very quiet. Like I've said, I've been consulting my files. And
Oh, your file.
yeah, posting
Hi
of
Eric. We've got
good
three in the
evening.
chat already. Guys, I just want to
Um,
apologise for last week. I was in an accident last week. And instead of taking my ass straight to hospital, Lois, typical lassie, it'll be absolutely fine. I see no problems until I got to 5 o'clock and could barely walk. So I ended up in hospital. So I just wanted to say I'm really sorry about last week's show. Sorry, Bri, what were you saying?
yeah, just been doing a lot of sorting through files, deleting some stuff, give me some memory back on my phone because that's all I've got. If anybody that knows me knows that I don't use a laptop, a computer, or anything. Everything I do, social media wise, is on my phone. So yeah, and it's not a new phone either, so I do quite well considering.
Listen,
If
sometimes
anybody,
these older model phones are a lot better than the new model phones. Let
well,
me
this
tell you.
this has got a really good camera on it. To be fair, I've had a few people say, "Well, mine's newer than yours. How come yours has got good pictures?" And I said, "Well, it's just one of them things. Same with cars. My car is absolutely brilliant, but it's forever breaking down." So
So, hi Irene. So, Irene can't sleep, but her husband's snoring
yeah,
in my room. Geez, it sounds like a tornado. That's not so good. Hey, Angie. Um, so,
evening.
so tonight's subject, I wanted to do this one partly because obviously, as everybody knows right now, I'm going through a loss myself. I lost my gran on the 28th of December, as everybody knows. Um, and it's funny how grief and paranormal go hand in hand. Now, obviously, we've all had some sort of griefs in life, whether it's death, whether it's losing your job, whether it's losing a house due to natural disasters or whatever. Um, and I've always found that when I'm going through something like that, like a loss, right, that paranormal tends to happen round about me um, as a comfort, as a comfort. And the one that happened recently that I not told many folk about was yes, I am lazy. I have not took down my Christmas stuff, but to be fair, I've took down all of it except the lights. I kept the lights up because I actually like looking at the lights because the lights has that
Mine never get
calming
mine never get taken
sensation.
down. Yeah,
Oh
they're all
well, I
there.
don't feel so bad when I listen to you. So I'm lying in my bed and I woke up half dazed, and people are going to laugh, but I was eating a packet of crisps at the time and I was half dazed. Now, my Christmas lights goes all different colours, they don't really stay at the one lighting. It's always different colours. And all of a sudden when I looked round, and it wasn't even the fact that I looked round, my eye got caught towards my window because there was this huge bright white light. Now I've never ever seen my lights go this colour, and it was so bright. It was like, holy shit, you thought you were in Wembley. And I'm like that, what the hell? So they came on and they went off. So obviously, I get really freaked out about that. And I shouldn't really because I'm a paranormal investigator. I've been dealt with worse. But I don't know why this felt a lot different. This wasn't your paranormal experience. This was more a personal experience than it was paranormal.
Yeah, it was a
And
message.
and it happened so quick. So me being me, wanting to debunk it first. Maybe it's because I've left them on. Maybe it's because of this, maybe that, blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't debunk it. And then I'm thinking to myself, it just feels so personal. And it's like, oh my God, and do you know my lights are now totally blue? They won't come on at all now. And it's just, it's funny. And I suppose talking to Vivian and obviously having these experiences, it's because grief and paranormal, it really does go hand in hand when you think about it, especially when you've had a loss yourself. And that's maybe Spirit's way of saying, you know what, we're here. We are here for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an experience like that, Bri?
I've had a few things like that, but to be totally honest, sometimes, like, very similar to you, I've got, well, I did have a fan heater. And it
Hey,
was
Kelly.
temperamental. It used to come on and go off on its own. Now, the reason for it, there was a reason for it, but these things can appear to be paranormal. In this instance, it wasn't. I dropped it off a top of a radiator, and it landed on the switch, on the dial switch. It was a dial switch, and it just didn't switch fully off sometimes. So after so long, it would come on for a few seconds and then go back off. If I didn't know that it had fell off and the switch were damaged, then you could say, oh, look, it's paranormal, because these things do happen. But I were in Bath other day, and I'd got it. I usually walk bathroom up with it, you know what I mean? Because I walk around Starkers all the time. And it popped. It popped big time, but it went fast as for a few seconds before it popped. So for me, it had got a power surge. Now, I think possibly in your instance as well, it could have been a power surge, and it popped them. So it went really bright before it blew. But again, if it had have stayed and just gone really bright and then went dim to normal, then I would say that would have been paranormal. But again, these things happen, and a lot of people will take them as paranormal, but are they?
Hello, love.
Hello.
It's food for thought. Good evening, Ian.
Good evening.
It's food for thought, isn't it? So, but that's one instance for me, and that's one instance with you. So, good
hey,
evening,
Kelly.
to you. And come on, give us some straight in, laddie. Give us
Straight
some insight.
Right, come on, hit me with it. It's either you want to hit me with jokes about my leg, or is it the subject tonight?
But the subject is it volcanoes?
There's not.
Particularly Krakatoa.
See you. Iris says your grief loved ones in your family. You know that what my spirits helps you become. It makes you stronger inside. Yeah. Hey Rita, mine never get taken down because they never go up. Irene says lamps get brighter and you know it's your loved ones talking to you. They flicker too. Hey Kelly. We've got two Kellys tonight. My house is extremely active. Paranormal activity. I've had some weird things happen to me in my house. Love you, Lo. And I get messages from your father and he says he loves you. Oh, thank you. Don't add. The other night, Ad and Vivian were on, and I was quite gutted because I just wasn't checking my accounts the other night, and then when I seen the link for Ad, I was like, Jesus,
yeah,
I missed him.
As well. And I wanted to see that fella. He's
he is really good. I don't mind talking about my reading.
He's a box of frogs, but he's fantastic.
Oh, he is. I don't mind talking about it. So the other night, obviously, as everybody's seen, I was on the live for the last, must have been about 5-6 minutes. And I had put something in, that's how I found that I had the link, because I commented as well on, because I had said, could I have a reading, please? So obviously I went on, sat with him for a bit, and then finished. And then I'd done me a reading. I'd had me in tears, and it wasn't tears of like sadness, it was tears of joy because
Yeah.
my papa came through. And no, I just want to make it very clear because I know people are sceptical when it comes to mediums, right? Now, Ad doesn't know me for Adam. He doesn't know anything about my papa. He doesn't know anything about my family. He doesn't know anything that I've only met Ad twice. I've only spoke to Ad twice. But see, when he says, like, obviously because he Ad and where he's from, I've sometimes got to slow down what I'm saying because he can't understand me. I can feel a cheeky comment coming in that general direction for Ian. So when I'm talking to Ad, I've got to really slow everything down. Now, Ad brought me up 2 cards that were flowers, and the flowers that my papa grew. And he said, show me this to show you. And do you know what? The tears came really, really hard because I was like, oh my God, it was so on the dot. It's unbelievable. And that's how I know when there's a good medium. And Ad is really, really brilliant. People should check him out, definitely. Kelly says, second year on past, I was in my garden, all of a sudden this white dove appeared and it was sitting on the fence. I think it was a sign of my nan coming back. Hey Sarah Louise, Rita's saying hi Ian. Dad is awesome, this is true. Irene's like, I'm the vessel for the spirits and they whisper in my ears and give me messages from the dead. It's one of my abilities. It's a good ability to have, Irene. Ad is amazing. So, Mr. Ian, what about you? Have you ever experienced grief and paranormal hand in hand?
Well, yeah, I mean, my concept on grief is completely different because of being in the paranormal field. My experiences, they don't go. I've had family members around me a lot, so I don't grieve them in the usual way. I just know they're not physical anymore. So that makes things a bit lighter as far as grief goes. Yeah, you miss them, but they're still around. And my family are pretty good at letting you know by being quite subtle. So, like appearing in photographs. So,
Oh, wowie. That must have been a shock for you.
yeah, my granddad appearing in our wedding photo 20 years after he died was quite a.
Oh, wow.
So,
I bet that took some explaining to Linda.
no, she's quite in with it. So, but funny enough, we had activity here last night, and so
I'm all ears.
I got the recorder out, and it turns out it was her sister, and I actually got her name on EVP.
Meant.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to do with grief, this one, but I used to have I think I've mentioned this before on one of shows. I used to have an old D600 Samsung slide phone.
Yeah.
And they were big on screensavers back then. And
Yeah.
I'd taken a picture of my fish tank initially, just thinking, oh, I've got fish in it. I'll take a picture and use it as a screensaver. When I came to look at it, it had got several devilish faces, and one were turned to its side. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, where the hell have these come from? I didn't see these when I first took picture. And one of them, like I've said, this last one, after about 4 or 5 seconds, it turned its head to look at you. And this is on a still picture. That was immense.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
Can't say I've ever had that.
Yeah, it was weird, very weird, that one. I've never had that before. And I've seen some things, but that, like I said, that just come from nowhere. But I had been in between taking that picture and putting it on as a screensaver. I'd been to a place called Thornsea Lodge, which they've done devil worshipping and all sorts up there. It's the most active place I have ever been to. It's changed hands since 1982, which was its last use as a children's home. It's been slowly going derelict, and it's been bought and sold and bought and sold. And I looked into why it kept getting bought and sold. And the thing is, I'd seen scaffolding go up and then it would just disappear, or the bottom rung would be left and nothing else had happened. And then eventually it'd come and get taken down and somebody else would put some more up. I'm thinking, what's going off here? Turns out that every time somebody bought it, the workers that went on jolly as anything, something would happen. There would be an accident of some sort. And one of the workers would end up getting thrown off at scaffolding and they'd walk off at job because there's no explanation for that. Workers like that are very few and far between believers of paranormal. They're just workers, rough and ready brickies. They're not going to believe in all like that. But when you get chucked off a scaffolding, you're going to believe it, aren't you? So they walk off a job, and that's happened several times now. It's just been sold again, and they're on about making it into a shooting lodge. That's a disaster for me. I think what's going to go off here? Somebody's going to get hurt. There'll be some grief there.
Well, what about spirits grieving places that are getting revamped?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's the home at the end of the day, isn't it? So you're going to get this. I've got to say this because I've been asked it a few times. Hiya, Laura. That is
Terry Two Billies. He's a builder and a believer.
Spirit. How much spirit is there about? Well, it's not as common as people would think. Everybody seems to think that when you die, you become a ghost, a spirit. No, you don't. 90% of people that pass on, that's it. That is it. Yeah, that's it. They're just into the ether. But there's a small minority that are born again. And then there's a small amount that have not finished with life. So they become spirit. The amount is not as many as people think. And this is why it's so hard to get evidence.
Yeah.
And you get hauntings because it's unfinished business as a rule. And me and Ian know that all too well. And this is why we do investigations that we do. The private investigations, helping people clear places more than anything. Or let the spirit know that there's other people living in their dwelling now. Which is a lot of the times, like you said, that's a lot of the time why spirit interact with people, because you're in their abode at the end of the day. They don't want to move. They don't want to move. So that's what we do. We interact.
Yeah. And a lot of visuals and audio is usually accidental.
Yes. Yeah. When you least expect it.
Unless you're actually communicating with them, it's usually accidental.
Yeah. Well, I've got more when I've said, right, that's it. We're off now. We're leaving. We're going home. And I've left me equipment running. And the amount of times I've heard, thank God for that.
Andrew says, can't hear Brian. Can you say hi when people's not talking, please? Sorry.
There, Angie. Oh yeah, I've got to say, Annette's not going to be on tonight either. Annette, she's out investigating.
Oh,
Newton Park in Liverpool, I believe. So
I'm gutted because that's one of the places I wanted to go, but they never ever got sent an email back.
Yeah. That's another pet hate. I've got to say, and I'm sick of hearing people talking about, we're going to so and so, we're going to so and so. They're lovely people. There's one in particular from Norfolk. I'm always ribbing him. He's a lovely fella, but that's all he does is paid venues, and it's a shame. It's a shame when you've got a decent investigator that they're doing paid venues, and a lot of these places, as we mentioned before, they're on the bandwagon. There's not a lot of activity on what activity there is. It's actually faked, which is shame. Shame on them. Absolute shame on them. And we know one person that's been quite prolific of late to do it with Ian. The hotel guy.
No,
He's been promoted.
saying nothing while waiting.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing Morse code with the glasses. Like,
Yeah.
say nothing.
Nah.
He's been quite prolific again. But
Hey, Kate. Hope you're well, honey. But yeah, no. It's always nice when you think, well, when you've got one of your loved ones on you, especially when you're going through a lot of crap.
yeah, I know my mother's in spirit. She visits us all the time. My sisters talk every morning.
Oh, Mr. Southey.
Yeah, they ring each other every morning and have a natter. And they know when my mother's about because there's a particular click on phone. And my sister, oh, she's here, look, she's nabbing, she's listening to us. And it clicks all the time. And again, this could be just interference, bad line. But it only seems to happen, and it's over a period, this, because I'd have said same. I'm very skeptical for a believer. And I'd have said same, just interference. But it seems to happen when they talk about her. So that for me says it's not the case. It's not interference. She knows. She's listened to them. Hey, up, they're on about me again. I'll tell them. Click, click,
Right, I'll cut the line at the thing. Do you know? Funny enough, on Tuesday night we were talking on the Simply Spooky, and we were talking. It was meant to be infrasound, but Viv wrote ultrasound. So we were obviously, when that was Stephen that picked that subject, and
joined
I
in.
said to him, I said I could throttle you. I know I seen you, Bri.
Yeah.
And here comes my question, right? Because obviously I didn't see you guys, and well, I seen you in the comments, Bri, but no you, Ian, right? Here's the gist of the conversation, right? What if the waves for the infrared, right? What if it's just made up? What if the paranormal is just not actually real and it's just the effects, the infrasound?
Well, yeah, there's some argument against and some for, isn't there? But at the end of the day, would you have, intelligent communication with somebody if it was just infrasound?
If you're sensitive, you can simply say no. There's a clear distinction, and it actually, like you said, it goes on to what I was saying earlier, a few minutes ago. What do you want to believe?
Yeah.
Is it interference? Is it electrical? Is it this? Is it that? But if you're sensitive, you have that sixth sense.
Yeah.
That you know it's either interference or there's a spirit trying to communicate. You've got that innate, built-in ability.
Yeah.
Which it's a fantastic sense to have. For people that's not as sensitive, but they want to be, investigate, they do all the things that we do, but can they actually sense a spirit? No, they can't. And this is where equipment came into it initially. And that's why they rely on it heavily. There was somebody earlier on today that said, I was nebbing, I was flicking around and I was nebbing. And the lady says, I can't wait to get to so-and-so. I am not a sensitive. I rely on equipment. Well, I'm afraid you're in for a cropper. It might be entertaining for you, but it's not, how can I put it? It's not paranormal. It's just not. It might be nice, it might be exciting, it might give you a kick, but it's not paranormal. It's not investigating because it's just an app. It's just a piece of equipment talking to you, and you're hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah.
That's my
Tell Terry has made a really good point. Until we can sit down and interview what we call spirit, it's all theory.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole paranormal theory until we can actually prove it. But
there is certain bits of equipment which are infallible in that respect, like a recorder, like a video. You can manipulate it. Don't get me wrong, but if you're a genuine person, you know whether you faked it or not. And if you're going to tell people that it's real, then shame on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And there's pareidolia. There's lots of things can interfere naturally. And you can be duped into thinking you've got something. But that inbuilt sense is there. And it's in varying degrees. Some people only get hackles at back at neck. But it's a sense. It is a sense, a sense of forebode. But other people can smell things, other people can hear things, other people can see things. If you've got any ability, use it and trust it. That's your best piece of equipment, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I bet you, for all the money that we spend in equipment, we could have a good holiday.
Yeah. Going investigating.
That's it. Ian, you're muted.
Yeah, I could go on several cruises with the amount of stuff I've got, but there you go.
Exactly. what do you actually trust?
What do I actually trust?
Yeah.
Lois.
Myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Proof of the pudding there. Exactly. You trust yourself. You trust your own senses, because even non-sensitive people will say, "Oh, I've had a gut feeling." Well, that's a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Eric says there's nothing wrong with equipment.
Equipment. I mean, I use equipment to back up what I get, what our medium gets, and it's great to have backup on several things. I'll never take one source as reliable.
Exactly. It's all about compiling evidence, definitely. And for other people's benefit, it's brilliant. But for me, 90% of it is entertainment. It's not factual. It's not evidence building as such. Not for me. It's not for me. It's for other people. If I use equipment, it's for other people. It's to give them a sense of enjoyment.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can't go to a client's house and say, "Oh, I sensed this, I heard that. Our medium picked up this, that, and the next thing," because they've not got it themselves. So you have to have some sort of backup to say, "Look, this is what we got."
Yeah. For example,
Terry says it's all personal experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
For example, I use tarot a lot as a medium. I am a medium, but I use tarot as a medium because, for example, if sometimes you can't explain things like you'd like to explain them, you get an awkward person that you don't click with, but you're getting a good reading from them. So how do you tell somebody that's very skeptical that this is the case? If you can get a card to turn when you're telling them and giving them the story, it's a medium. And they tend to believe the cards more than they do you. Because they can see that in black and white and it's tangible. Even though physically you're speaking, they tend to believe the cards. So what's all that about?
No, I know. It's definitely, I suppose, see if you look at it as all, like all the people and all the paranormal investigators, we've all had some sort of grief in life.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why some people actually do the paranormal, is to look for that answer.
And I was just going to say that's most of my readings are for that reason. They want to contact people in spirit. And that's originally what tarot brought forward for. It was a knock on from the crystal ball.
Oh my God.
The palm reading. It's a knock on. And they've got more and more elaborate. For me, a lot of these cards that's out today, they make no sense whatsoever. I mean, I can't understand these when they use playing cards, for example. I know what they're doing. They're using their skills to give a reading. The cards are there as a medium. There's nothing in them cards whatsoever. You could tell anybody anything. The King of Clubs is this, and the Queen of Diamonds is that. And it'll be totally different for next reading. Because they're using their skills and they're giving them a visual so that they can remember. It's a cue to remembering the reading, basically.
And it's not just that. You mean you've got a lot of people. Here's a sad thing, right? You've got a lot of people who could be very, very vulnerable when they're going through grief. And they're going through so-called mediums or so-called, people who has got to see them coming a mile ahead and tell them all any croak and bull, and they will go in it. Yeah. And the hard reality is, you're doing more damage.
Just like good and bad coppers. That's good and bad in the field, unfortunately. There's a lot of charlatans, a hell of a lot. And again, a lot of them have come into the business as a business.
Yeah.
It's money making, it's nothing to do with being psychic. It's to make money, and it's wrong. But unfortunately, it's here to stay because it's entertainment and it sells.
Yeah.
And I think even more so.
There's a new series, actually. I've got the lass on, she's on my Facebook, and I do talk to her now and again. She's come through ranks. She is sensitive to a point, but she's on the show. Paranormal Caught on Camera. It's just started a new series. Half of them are off Most Haunted, so you can imagine.
You can just see Ian's eyes rolling. Ian, why do you keep muting yourself to unmute yourself to unmute yourself to mute yourself?
Aye. In the background.
Ah, right. I was like that. He's like that. I screw this. He's like talking shit.
I can still hear you.
Oh, charming. So you keep muting me then, do you? I remember
No. That's because he wants to have to be. William says, personally, it takes a certain amount of knowledge to really understand the spiritual energies that surround us. You can't get this kind of deep knowledge from watching a TV screen. Exactly, William.
Not. You have to do a lot of research, a lot of actually doing it.
Yes.
Before you get anywhere near understanding it.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't explain that either. That's the downside to it. I mean, me and you've been doing it for years and years and years, and you'll get somebody that wants to be into it and everything else, and they just won't listen. And you think, what's the point? What's the point? I can't explain to you. If you're not going to listen, it's pointless trying to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Because within 5 minutes of doing job, they're experts.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that word in the paranormal world. Oh, expert. I hate that. That is like a fucking bone to me. Like,
it's too many production companies throw the word around because it makes the program look good. But in all reality, you can be an expert in a certain field of the paranormal, but you can't be an expert in the paranormal.
Exactly. There's a lot of words that's bandied about, and they just don't ring true. And one of your favourites, Ian, is the demonologist.
You can't beat.
Well,
that's that 32 Valise.
I have nothing against demonologists, but for a person who announced on a program that they were one of the leading demonologists in the field, when all they'd done is a course,
I thought
demonologist, does it?
I thought you and Zach were going to be the best of pals and go and talk it over a beer.
I've got a diploma in parapsychology, but it doesn't make me a parapsychologist. It just makes me a better investigator.
Eric says, I'm an expert in bullshit. Irene says, yeah, I get my knowledge from just going outside. Almost every corner has a spirit, and some you just have to walk away from. Well, you know, that's so true, Irene. I can't imagine. You must be all bunged up with emotions.
Yeah, that's a problem with being empathic as well, which I've noticed in the later years.
I hate being in a crowd, because see, when you can feel all folks' emotions, it's just like, oh man, I've got to get out of here. Isn't that ghostly stuff is all about publicity? In my opinion, it's basically a business venture. It depends on who they're driving for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said, William. A lot on it is that, and especially not in this country,
No,
because we have the privilege of being able to investigate as an amateur, because we don't need to make money out of it. Unfortunately, a lot of countries do.
I think the difference here is you're more likely to get respected in the field for being genuine over here, rather than being one of the crowd.
Yeah.
I think that's the basic difference between here and most places. But
oh god, Terry says, I'm an expert in nothing. You want to know about nothing, I'll tell you. Terry's something else, so yes. Need to get you on, Mr. Terry.
That's the best thing to be an expert in.
But no, it's some field. It really is some field.
I know a bit about most things, but I'm not an expert in any.
No, it's got to be the only field where you start with questions and end up with 10 times more.
Yes.
It's not just that someone died in this or that place, and you don't need to go on a ghost tour like it's 90% haunted. William says cameras are there for a reason, to gather evidence. The fame and fortune comes afterwards, and Terry only puts only 10.
I mean, fame and fortune, you know, it's very easy to get involved in all that. But, you know, me and Fry have been in the field over 25 years. I've been on TV, I've been on radio shows all the world, and I've managed to avoid the fame and fortune because I don't want it.
Yeah. And
I must have been the only 1% that didn't know who Ian was. I'm going to say it before you say it.
I've appealed with a few people and I've been in paper a few times, but I'm not interested in that fame and fortune. I want to make people aware that these things exist. That's all.
People say to me, "Would you want to do a TV show?" I said, "Well, I do private cases, and to me, it's all confidential. So why would I want that on the TV? It doesn't make sense."
It's entertainment. It's money.
Even I knew, Lo. You're the only 1% that knows me then. But I just, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I think it's good if you want to be on the telly, but don't let your big head get you.
Exactly.
And your load.
Ego leads to the faking. So, you know, if you're going to be genuine in this field, don't have an ego. Nobody's better than anyone else. Yeah, people might have got better evidence, but at the end of the day, that's just luck.
Right.
It's to be with how good.
Terry says, here, Ian. Don't give him a big head. He's got to get an ego, and then he's not going to want to work for Frightners anymore. Fuck's sake, Terry, come on.
I'll still work with Bry.
We're getting an ego now, are we? That's it. You learn every day, and it's the same in life. Irene says, let's say we are famous and have a fortune already because we are all well known. I'm always broke anyway, so am I. Irene, I wouldn't worry about it.
Now, I don't know if you agree with this, Bri, but ever since I've been in the paranormal field, you know, I did at one time have loads of money, and you know,
I know I can totally see that with your office.
But you know, I had plenty of money, and I didn't want for anything. But now I live comfortably, and if you're genuine in the paranormal field, it seems to be that if you're genuine, you don't go without.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the helping people and helping spirit seems to be on your side.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean,
Apart from with your car, that is, Brian, because they don't help
I've
you.
never had two pennies to rub together. I've made people money. And I've given people careers, given them ideas, and they've gone and run with it. I've never had that ambition, but I've always been decent and honest, and that for me, like, counts for a lot.
Yeah.
Well, see, if you think about it, here's a thought for everybody, right? Who goes on to YouTube or Facebook or whatever these people stars and all that. You're funding their lifestyle. So when they're getting a new hairdo, with holidays abroad, they're just, and they're saying we're putting this money towards your equipment, but their hair looks pristine. Now my hair looks like I've just been dragged through a bush, give and take.
Probably have.
I'm going to ignore you, Mr. English. But it's just a joke when people say, "Oh yes, we're totally doing it for the team," but they're away gallivanting.
Well,
Kerry says it's great to have sense spoken. Thank you.
I won't talk about a certain couple who used to be very well known in the paranormal field, who had a nice big house in Surrey and were just about to buy their 7th car.
With respect, half it's those ghosty people I've watched on YouTube with last 2 minutes. Listen, same in my world, William, same in my world. Yeah,
But
I know.
It's the same all these people you get running around saying there's a demon. You know, if they actually met one, they'd probably die on the spot.
They run. That's the thing that's the thing in entertainment that sells, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to see people getting scared out of their wits and run away.
It's got to the point now where we've got demons auditioning.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to my red hair view? Irene says, I'd rather do something that I love to do than I hate. Exactly. But it's one of those ones, isn't it?
It's only the living that I run away from. It's like the most peaceful places. I've mentioned it loads of times. The most peaceful places are graveyards, cemeteries.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Pre-1600. If it's pre-1600, then you've got a chance of getting pants scared off you. But through all these years, I've discovered that anything after 1600, they're very, very peaceful. Because they've all been laid to rest, they've all been blessed. So there's just shells in that cemetery. But there's people in there that's acting naughty. And they're the ones that you want to steer clear of.
Irene, I make my protection bracelet and necklaces, and I'm good for my friends and people who want them. I'm sure they look beautiful, Irene.
Yep.
Eric says, yep, when you get scared and run out the room, when you get what you asked for, exactly.
Yeah, that's never happened to me yet. I'm usually the one running back in there. And that's true. Even Barry John said that about me. He says when it comes to the paranormal, he says you're absolutely fearless.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Barry John. Absolutely love Barry John.
Well, that's actually, there's a case. I went to do a chapel, and this chapel massive, actually, bigger than a lot of churches. Got an auditorium and everything. And it were quite popular back then. It were attracting attention from all over, and everybody were posting videos. And of course, it attracted a lot of attention from the wrong crowd. Yep. And there was a lot of youngsters coming from a certain area and having picnics and drinking and doing whatever. And one lot decided to burn the place out.
Oh my God.
But before that happened, I took a group, and there were about 8 or 9 of us, quite a big group. And it was flat. To me, it was flat. But everybody else, they got hackles up, and they were sensing this, that, and other. Eventually, I saw this branch twitch, because it were all overgrown. And I thought, that's not paranormal whatsoever. There's another group here and we've scared them out. Now, my group heard something, saw the bushes move and skipped it, ran. And I did exactly what you did. I walked towards it. I said, right, you come out now. And there were about 18 on them. Great big group of kids, youngsters. They've been up to no good. And this is why they'd hid, because they knew they were up to no good. So it just shows, like I've said, I'm not scared of anything in that respect, but I was cautious. I didn't get too close because you didn't know what they were going to do. You know what I mean? There were 18 on them. They outnumbered us 2-1.
And it's not just that. The problem,
My group had gone.
See, if you look at the bigger picture, the problem is these youngsters don't have anywhere to go. They don't have any youth clubs or that to go anywhere. All they want to do is hang about the streets. So that's why these buildings are getting targeted, is because of the antisocial behaviour order. If you load that, the buildings would be left alone.
But you would have thought common sense would say that if they found somewhere to hang about, why destroy it? They're destroying their own playground. That's the thing that I don't understand.
They
when
don't care.
We had a playground. We looked after it. We used to polish swings. We used to polish slides so we got a better slide. We didn't wreck it.
No.
They just don't care.
No, they don't.
William says they all do that, ask the same boring questions. It's like being a show monkey.
Yeah, if I go to a public place, I try to ask off-the-cuff questions so they're not being asked the same things all the time. You know,
yeah.
How many times have I got asked what your name is? It must be about 8 million times each.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know. Wait. Oh my God. We should do a show on what's the most asked questions in the paranormal.
No,
what's the best of the worst?
Is there anybody here? That's the most.
Is there anybody there? I
Next
think that's
one is, what's your name?
Even on film. That was first question.
Are you male? Are you female? There you go. It's the 4 top questions. I already know what they are.
Oh wow. Eric says, not only that, how are you supposed to get answers asking stupid questions?
Yeah.
Without a
doubt. There's an algorithm of a couple of thousand words.
Yeah. Are you a demon? Of course they're going to say yes, because they're going to want to see your reaction.
I know. Oh my God. But
the majority ask a question and they've already got the answer in the head. So this app will chuck about a dozen words out, and when it gets to the one that they've got in their head, oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Terry saying getting a name is the hardest answer to get. Ask what you'd like. Ask what you'd like for death.
Yeah, a full list.
Hey, people laugh, but I've been asked a few times that question.
No,
Would
you
ghost
like sausage.
Well, a vegan option myself, but hey. Irie says the worst stupid question is, how much do you charge? And I've got a devil. I get a devil in my house. But I feel sorry for Spirit because the amount of questions they get asked, and they must feel like a show monkey.
But this is why they ignore. This is why they ignore until somebody decent comes along and asks the right questions, and they get results because they think, finally.
Yeah. One of the best questions, is there anything I can do to help you? And they will respect that, and they will say, stop asking my fucking name.
Do you know something? If I was ever Spirit, that's exactly how I would answer it.
I know, that's exactly how I'd answer as well, but there you go.
Right, stop asking me. I would just screw with them. What age are you?
And if
45.
Terry asked me, my answer would be a full Scottish breakfast. No, how I'm going to eat it when I'm deceased, I do not know.
Exactly, Terry. Ask in a respectful manner as they've been there longer. I couldn't agree more, Terry. Couldn't agree
You've
more.
got to speak to them respectfully anyway. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. You've got to speak to it respectfully.
Exactly.
Rita would be too afraid to ask questions. Ask Scooby-Doo.
Nah, because they were never ghosts. They were always the caretaker.
Oh,
Yeah.
talking about... Is everybody seen the U trailer for the U Ghostbusters?
Yes.
They're making another one.
Oh, have you seen the international trailer? Because it's longer.
I've not seen the international trailer. I only took it up.
You've only seen the American one. You want to see the one that's intended for us, which is the international one.
You need to send me the link.
Weirdly enough, I don't watch things like that. I'm more of a Trekkie. I like sci-fi.
I love the Trekkie. I was watching Trekkie the other.
Most of the paranormal field are Ghostbusters and Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Okay.
Wait till my office is finished, you'll see my lightsabers.
How dare you? I hope you didn't read no picture of lightsabers.
No, these are real replicas.
William says, to be honest, you could be talking to anything of that just because they say whom they say they are. Most believe what they have been told, even if it is complete bullshit.
Well, this is it, because anything negative will lie to you, because that's just the way they are.
Sarah Louise, when you ask if anybody's there and the spirit says no, what then?
Well, obviously there is someone there.
Yeah, obviously.
Funny
Terry says Thunderbirds. Nah, I'm not Thunderbirds.
On the same line as that, someone saying no. I've probably already told you this, but I got a new digital voice recorder, and I asked just to test it to get the volume levels and all that. Is there anyone here that wants to talk to me? And the response I got was, I don't think so.
Yeah, said, yeah.
That's because they know you're a picture.
And I think, who the hell is that?
I can't wait to see your office. How far away are you finishing?
Oh, I keep getting caught up with other family DIY jobs. So
Nicola says, I'm not going to watch that you film. The first one was the best. You can't beat the first one, Nicola.
No, but not being funny, the last one was good because it ties in with the others.
Oh.
Apparently, the new one it's got the practically all the original cast in it, plus the new ones.
One of my best was Leave Me Alone, a female. I'm very shocked, Teddy. I thought the women would be lining up for you. Irene says, I'm a Tracy, but it's always been Godzilla. Japanese Godzilla, the original.
Yeah, that's true. I can't take that away from Irene.
I've forgotten his name now. The one at Broderick's, can't remember. The one with fish when he comes up with baiting it with fish. And that one.
Oh, yeah, that was the remake of Godzilla, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With Matthew Broderick, yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually not a bad actor. There's a few things that I've watched him in recently that I've actually underestimated how much a good actor you are.
Matthew Broderick is brilliant. Have you not seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
You've got to watch that.
Yeah. He was good with that one with Chimp as well, weren't he?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, see, he does know you, Lois.
Do you know, on what day was it? Tuesday into Wednesday morning, right? I done a live, and I couldn't believe it's 50 years since the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie first came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even longer for zombie films, isn't it? One at first and to be made.
Yeah, but this was a shock the other day because I saw an article about the original Karate Kid's going to be in a new one, isn't he?
Oh, Wally.
The first Karate Kid was 40 years ago.
Yeah, we're going to be trained.
It makes me feel old, doesn't it, boys?
God, 40 years ago, I nearly had a heart attack. Wait, what?
But no, I was on Fear Fans because me and Nick were having a conversation the week beforehand, and I said, well, if you ever do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, send me the link and I'll come on. And he was like, yeah, we are, it's 50 years. And I went, 50 years? I was like, no. And he went, yeah, 50 years since the Texas
I hope he's just covering the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and not doing it.
Well, Terry says they done Cobra Kai, Ian.
Yes, the series, yeah.
Oh God, I'm old, says Eric.
Yeah.
After 01, they're making a U1 here.
See, my favourite films of that genre are The Hills of Eyes and things like that.
Oh, no.
Silent Hill. I like them better than your old stuff, to be fair.
Oh, Joe says we did that on last Fear Fans. Must be Karate Chip Kid or Cobra Kai, but The Hills Have Eyes. Oh, I just find them creepy.
Brilliant.
There.
It's actually
Oh,
a story, that, believe it or not.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Definitely
inbreds in the desert. They were affected by radiation through tests, and it's based on a true story. That
yeah, that's what I was referring to, Joe. Joe was there as well. It was a good show. It's just 2:30 in the morning UK time, so I did it for about an hour because I was up getting my foot reviewed the next day. So it was a good show. I really enjoyed it, but I just thought, oh my God, 50 years.
Scary, isn't it? Absolutely scary.
Yeah.
And then I lay in bed the other night watching it.
That'd be a good topic for you, Lewis.
What one?
That Hills of Eyes, because it's actually based on a true story.
There you go.
Right, well, right. No, next week or the week after, because we've already got 2 weeks in advance. We'll do it the third week. The Hills Have Eyes, the backstory.
Could do.
Then Irene, I'm still older than that movie. You're only 21, Joe.
I have to say, me and Brian both older than that movie, unfortunately.
Yes, I'm the old man here, definitely.
Before we go, guys, before we go, right, Wayne's competition for Spooky Nori is still going on. You've got 3 hours left for it to be submitted. To celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Spooky Nori, you have to write a short story, 500 words. It could be more, it could be less. And Wayne has got to centre as the main character. So you've still got 3 hours left. So you can send it to the group chat or send it to wayneseeding@hotmail.com.
We could do a story about Mark being trapped in a basement by another radio host.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have to be Lois with it.
I'll have him down as a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
He likes to dress up.
I wish I was 21. You definitely are, Joe. Don't you be kidded. Yeah. Damn tugboat's driving me nuts. Siren says Wayne's World. It'd be a good tune. So definitely. But I'm going to let everybody listen to you about next week's guest, because it is your guest for next week. So you tell everybody who's coming on. And
right, next week we've got a young lady called Sharon Day, based in America. She's we would have had her on sooner, but she's been busy moving. At the moment she's in temporary digs, but she's active. She does blogs, she does filmmaking, she does all sorts. I haven't actually read the bio, so you actually know more than I do, Lewis. But that's who we've got on next week. It should be interesting, definitely.
She's certainly someone's name that I've come across many times in the field, so be interesting.
I'm a vampire. I've lived for. You still look good for it, Joe. Good night, Terry. Good night, Nicola.
Good night,
Good night, Sarah Louise. Thank you. But everybody, so on Sunday, tune in. Oh, talk about Ad, and there he is. Hello, Ad. Just as we're going off as well, Ad.
I missed you last time, but we need to have you on our show, Ad.
Definitely. But everybody have a good weekend and take care. We'll see you all soon.
Yeah.
Bye.